do, this came on the news 2 or 3 days ago. And it's something that we just covered 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to share it with you. When we were talking about how God's Word is so perfect, I talked about Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim, the mountains of the blessing and the mountains of the cursing. And I actually used some pictures and talked about, I didn't talk about the man specifically, but I used some of his stuff because I follow him on Facebook. The man's name is Scott Strickland, and he works for ABR. You can find their videos about archaeology on YouTube. But anyways, back a few months ago, they had found this little tablet, and it's made of lead. It's really small. It's 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, or in other words, it's like 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, and it's folded in half in lead. And he was sifting through debris, and he found this. Well, they just published it, like I said, 2 or 3 days ago. And so I wanted to share it with you because it's really neat. They found it, and they began to do the dating on it and found that it was around 1200 BC, which is around the time of the children of Israel moving into the Promised Land. But what's really interesting about it is, if we'd have found it in any other time frame, we would have not had the technology to do the CT scans to be able to read what was on this tiny little tablet. It's got 40 letters in Paleo Hebrew, the original Hebrew, and this is what it says. Cursed, cursed, cursed. Cursed by God, Yahweh. You will die cursed. Cursed, you will surely die. Cursed by Yahweh. Cursed, cursed, cursed. Now, it's really hilarious what the secular world in archaeology is trying to do to this thing. What they've said of it is, wow, it's really amazing. This is a great find because it tells us that the Hebrews, that Jews, had Hebrew earlier than what we thought. Well, any of us could have told you that because we've read the book. We know that it exists. But that's all they're saying. They're saying nothing more, but there's so much more to it on this little tablet than that. The Hebrew writing, yes, it was earlier than this, but think about it. It's 3/4 of an inch, and by 3/4 of an inch, and it has 40 letters on it. That's some detailed work. They were good at what they did. Further than that, the words that are on there are in the form of poetry, the same poetry you find in like the book of Psalms. It's not a bunch of cave drawings. It shows order. They were saying, oh, there was no Hebrew even back then, much less cave drawings, and they've been proven wrong over and over again. The words are spelled the same way that you find in the original Hebrew language. They didn't even misspell the words. It's dated to the right time, just as the Bible said it should be. And in fact, this is the earliest known writing of the name of the Lord, Yahweh. Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. You remember when they were given the name of the Lord, they didn't want to write it completely out, and so they shortened it so they wouldn't mispronounce it or misspell it. They didn't want to misuse the name of the Lord, and so they'd use 4 letters. Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. And this is the earliest one that they found. Further than that, you'll never guess where they found it. They found it on Mount Ebal, the cursed mountain, where they had the altar where they did the cursing from the word of the Lord. They didn't find it anywhere else. They found it on the cursed mountain. And here's a quote by Professor Gallo, and he says, these are not curses per se. Rather, and I have this in quotes, the meaning of the expression cursed is would be cursed. But what did the Bible say? You can literally go to Deuteronomy chapter 27, and it says, if you obey these commandments I give you, you will be blessed. But if you disobey them, you would be or will be cursed. Written the exact same way you would have expected to find it if it would have been taken right out of Deuteronomy. Wow. For a biblical scholar, this tablet was found exactly where it should be. It was written in a form of exactly how it should be. It says what exactly should be said, and it lifts the name of the Lord Yahweh just as it should. And it's been in the dirt for 3,200 years. Man, God's word is perfect.